Welcome back to the Truth Seeking Network. And today I'm going to talk about uh, what you see across the screen right here. If y'all can see the screen, it's talking about these NIH successfully vaccinated people using mosquitoes. Now, you've seen a whole bunch of articles out here now where, and I talked to y'all in a couple of other past videos where I've talked about they're releasing over 350 million of genetically modified mosquitoes. They released some in Texas, Florida, and a bunch of other places, right? Maybe New York or some other places. They're releasing these genetically modified mosquitoes. And yet the population, everybody walking around, and nobody's talking about this stuff. It's like who is allowing these people to genetically change the DNA of a mosquito and releasing them in the atmosphere? Now you got malaria and West Nile virus and some other diseases are now coming back. Is it a coincidence? And then you have them so-called spraying for the mosquitoes. If they're spraying for the mosquitoes, what's in the spray? Because now they talking about they have to spray in your area for the mosquitoes. So-called killing the mosquitoes, but what are they really spraying in the air? So you can't even trust the spray that they're spraying. They're releasing mosquitoes and they're spraying for mosquitoes. Make that make sense. And we know that mosquitoes is one of the biggest carriers of diseases on the planet, right? So why would you be doing this? And who is funding this stuff? And these mosquitoes, once you start playing with DNA and nature, you could create some monster out here or some kind of disease that never existed ever before. Because you're playing with stuff that you shouldn't be messing with. Now, these mosquitoes, they could be, who are you training these mosquitoes on? Because the DNA of a person, suppose you wanted to, I'm just going to put this out here. Suppose you wanted to put it on the indigenous population, right? And you grow these mosquitoes in a lab, and you put them on and then you use the indigenous DNA that you use on these people, on these mosquitoes. And so these mosquitoes are now predisposed to go after those people, because that's what they grew up breeding on. Growing up, grew up actually feeding on, or the blood types of these type of people. So that's what it's going to be seeking out more than anybody else. And then you can release these things in the atmosphere, and they're probably going to attack people based on that genetically DNA of this certain type of people. who's to say that's not possible? And I'm just throwing that out there. Okay. I'm not saying that's happening, but it could. And it could be a lot worse than that. But you shouldn't not be playing with stuff like mosquitoes. And now you have the ticks out here. They're saying now, if the tick bites you, you could be allergic to eating meat. Now, is this a coincidence that they're trying to get people off of meat and they want to feed us bugs? And the food plants have been being destroyed. Animals have been slaughtered across the planet through disease and everything else. You got rich folk buying up the farmland. And genetically modified mosquitoes. If that don't beat all. So, we have to wake up and just kind of ask ourselves, what the heck is really going on out here? Right? We got the people that, they're what? Blocking the sun, or trying to block the sun. We got them genetically modifying the food. Right? You got them spraying chemtrails in the sky every single day. right? And who knows what they're spraying across the sky. Then you got them talking about climate change, right? Talking about the climate is changing, and then they talking about your carbon footprint and so forth now. Talking about they have to eliminate the carbon in the atmosphere. Although we are carbon-based people. We are carbon. And so we breathe out oxygen. Right? We breathe in oxygen. And then we breathe out what? Carbon monoxide, right? We breathe that out. And so the question is, you got to ask yourself, so what is really going on? They polluted the water. Well, you're now buying bottled water. You got lead, you know, the water is being bought up, lead in the water, and other chemicals. There's PFSAs in the water. Forever chemicals is now in the water supply, right? And corporations are the corporates that's behind all this stuff, right? It's not to be, it's facts. What was it, 3M and some other companies that were putting PFSAs in the water. I did a video on that. Forever chemicals all up in the water. And also causing liver damage and all kind of body issues that, people having children with mental issues and so forth, right? Genetically modifying the plants, blocking the sun. So why would you try to block the sun if the sun, it is the giver of life on this planet? And now they're trying to block it. So obviously you don't belong here. If you're trying to block the sun and change the food and change the air and change the water, that means you're trying to, it seems to me, which is more common sense, somebody's trying to change the planet for something else. And they talking about we're overpopulated with people, and they're actually trying to depopulate the people. And that's a fact too. And they openly talk about it, don't they? So this is not conspiracy theory anymore. And it never was, be honest with you. They will laugh about it or call you conspiracy theorists at first saying stuff what I'm saying now, but it's the truth. Saying there's too many people. Well, it would look that way, wouldn't it? If you put all the jobs and all the houses, you pile them up in one spot, and you got all the populations concentrated in certain areas. When you drive out in the countryside, you see nothing but woods and countryside and land for miles. But everybody's concentrated in these certain locations, in these cities. Where you pumping in drugs, guns, alcohol, right? Abortion clinics, and so forth. You got all that going on in the city, right? So it seems to me, and in the food, if you're genetically modifying the food, then you're actually genetically modifying the people because they're eating this food. Look at obesity now. Obesity is out the park. You see all these people walking around and they have all these shapes and big sizes and everything. Everything is out of disproportion in people. That's chemical fat. Because a lot of stuff we eat and it's not food. It tastes good and it smells good and it looks good, but it's not food. Right? Your body don't know what to do with it. Half the population is on, more than half the population is on some type of pill or drug. So what's going on out here? I know I might be all over the place a little bit, but if you're blocking the sunlight, that means you don't belong on this planet. And if you even want to think about blocking the sun, you don't belong on this planet. If you're genetically changing and altering the DNA of animals and bugs and things, you don't belong to this planet. You can't belong to this planet. The planet was perfect before you got here. They've been talking about the reptilians and the snake eyes and so forth. That's all real stuff. I advise y'all to go look at TV sometimes. Take your iPhone and look at these people's eyes. Some of these people are not people. Maybe I could put something in this clip that I'm gonna show y'all. Y'all remember the movie V that came out a long time ago? They were reptilians with snake eyes and they peeled back the skin and it was reptilians underneath it. And a lot of people think that's a joke. Now you got them in Congress testifying, saying they have made contact with the body and with UAPs, whatever they call them, what we used to call UFOs. But they have been working with these aliens, so-called aliens, for a very long time. So this stuff is not just a joke. This stuff is real. And I just think it's time for us to wake up. Somebody's trying to change our planet atmosphere. And they keep telling us about climate change. This planet has been here for millions and billions of years. Now we need them to what? Fix our climate? Does that make sense to y'all? We got diseases coming out the woodwork now in the last couple of years. So let me ask you. So when you walk down the street, was the disease laying on the street and it said it just jumped up on you? Or was it when you went walking through the woods, did the disease just jump out the woods and jump on your skin? Or maybe you was gardening in the ground and you dug into the ground, planting some garden, and the disease just jumped up on you, and it's spreading around the world. See, we would have to really, really think about this. The disease didn't just pop out the air, oh, let me go and start attacking humans all of a sudden. Right? It didn't come out your house. It didn't come off you wasn't digging in the woods. You wouldn't walk through the woods. You didn't go swim in the water one day and you came up with the deadly disease that's spreading around the planet. These things are created in these is biological weapons, y'all. These are things that are created in laboratories. These things are being messed with, just like these mosquitoes. They are coming from laboratories. They work on things. They're messing with stuff that they should not be messed with. And it's just like the movies you see, Contagion and all these other movies that come out. They're messing in the laboratory and they leak out and this virus gets out and it just spreads all over the place. Because it's something that they're creating, they're messing with. And then this happened in nature. And that's what I'm saying. Nature ain't just out here trying to kill you like that. Now, in the last few years, we got these things popping out of nowhere, and we all just like buying it like hook, line, and sink. Oh, yeah, there's a new virus out this year. And they give it a name, and everybody's scared. Scared of their friends, scared of their family, scared of everybody. And we're not asking, hold up for a second, y'all. Where did this thing come from? And those questions people don't ask. Where did this originate really? And where did it come from for real? And what's really going on with it? And what's the purpose of it? And why would you mess with something like this in the first place? What was that on the news a few years? It was a year ago or something like that. They found some vials of the what? It was an old disease that used to be. Was it smallpox? I think it was. And it was, or something like that. And one of the vials was missing from one of the labs somewhere. Y'all remember that story? It came out a year ago, I think, something like that. So what I'm saying to y'all is that this stuff is not just accidental. And them trying to block this, y'all can look all this stuff up yourselves. I could put all this in the video, but it's going to take too long. Go look up blocking the sun. Go look up them releasing genetically modified mosquitoes. Okay? Go look up the chemtrails for yourself. Go look up at the GMO foods. Right? Go look up the polluted water. Go look up all the things. Go look up the PFSAs in the water or the forever chemicals that's in the water. Go look up the food plant processing plants that are being destroyed or all the animals that's being killed worldwide. And ask me, is this all coincidence? And now they talking about charging you carbon tax. And they're gonna start to charge you based on your carbon footprint. How much carbon you releasing into the atmosphere. And is this the way for more control? This planet has been here for billions of years. Now, the planet needs them for carbon. And look, nobody can put more carbon out than these corporations. Can't nobody do more than they are. Most of us just trying to live simple lives. That's it. But now they got us believing in the carbon footprint and the climate change and all that stuff. So this video right here, I'm gonna play this little clip right here from this video, and I'll be done. But this is a quick little talk, and this is kind of stuff these people are playing with, and they should not be messing with stuff like this. Did I mention the lab grown meat? Now they're growing your meat from cells. That I did a video that was taken down. Lab grown meat. And they put it in restaurants and soon to be a store near you. They're gonna put some cells in this they're growing these cells, animal cells, so they say, and they're gonna add other ingredients into it. When it grows, they can make it to any meat they want. Fish, chicken, they can make it taste like whatever you want. Now I'm gonna ask you, are you gonna eat that? Because I know good and well I'm not. I don't want nothing that's grown out of a laboratory. And you can see them coming up talking about, yeah, it's going to be illegal to raise chickens soon. It's going to be even illegal to catch a fish probably soon because you don't have to kill a fish no more or catch a fish no more. Now they have lab grown fish where you can just put it in the lab. Put it in this little machine in the cells and you can get the fish that way. And I can see them pushing all this on us real soon if the people don't wake up. Now, if you want to eat the stuff, go right ahead and eat it. But I don't want nothing else to synthetically or not organically just come from this planet. Everything they've tried, everything they do synthetically, including their drugs, have side effects. And they show you they tell you right in the commercials, don't they? Take Zenzelica today. Ask your doctor about Zenzelica. May cause nosebleeds, heart palpitations, cardiac arrest, diabetes. Your foot may fall off. You know what? And your thumb might rot off. But ask your doctor about Zenzelica today. And they have somebody running through the field with flowers and stuff, smiling and talking about their life is better. Ask your doctor about this. And I'm gonna tell you something. This country is not but one big experiment, and we are the experiment. Right? Even what came out in 2020, in 2021 was experimental, wasn't it? It was an experiment. And everything they're doing is an experiment. When you jam on foods, a lot of the foods they sell here in America, they won't sell in other countries. They won't allow it. But this place is one big melting pot, one big experiment. And we the guinea pigs. They spray in the skies. You see the stuff spraying out the planes. Nobody says anything, right? You got chemicals all up in your food, aspartame, whatever you call it, and they still put it in there. They know what the stuff is. And there's so many other chemicals out here that they got in the food that's allowed to be in the food, and it's been approved to be in the food. Yet, and they know what it does to the body. You got fluoride in toothpaste, right? Fluoride is not good for you. fluoride in the water. But this stuff is allowed in this country. And what's the lead in the water? They say it could play on people's emotions, where people become violent and whatnot. And the people in Michigan, they knew the lead was in the water, and they knew for years it was in the water. And that's not conspiracy either. So the stuff I'm saying is the truth. So what's really going on here? Is the planet being taken over or being changed for something else other than people? Blocking the sun, changing the food, GMO, everything, wanting you to eat lab grown foods and all this other stuff that's going on. And it's on and on, y'all. Wanting you to take certain procedures. Now we got people dropping dead. Young people dropping dead of cardiac arrest. Myocarditis, whatever they call it. Cancer rates have skyrocketed since 2020, 2021. Yep. And they still want people to keep taking stuff. So you tell me. But then the same people talking about they said it's overpopulated, they want to depopulate. That's true too. So I'm not the one that said it. They saying it. These cats been saying it for years. So anyway, let's check this video out and let's see what it says. Here we go. Listen to this, y'all.
Look at this. An NIH funded study just vaccinated humans using genetically modified mosquitoes. If this doesn't freak you out, I don't know what will. This study took place recently in Seattle. A group of researchers were looking to see how they could vaccinate people from malaria using these mosquitoes. And what they did, this study involved 200 mosquitoes biting humans, and the humans would put their arms in the little whatever thing, and the mosquitoes would come and bite them. I don't know why anybody would sign up for that, but apparently participants were paid about $4,000 to do this, to be bitten by mosquitoes. The mosquitoes carried with them a modified version of malaria. And that modified version it's like really mild. It doesn't really actually make you sick. But the idea is that when you contract this really mild version of malaria from these mosquitoes that you can't even feel, you're basically asymptomatic, you end up developing antibodies to malaria, and you're therefore then vaccinated against malaria. And in the study, they said that they used mosquitoes, and they actually did end up with 3 to 5 vaccinations over the 30-day intervals. And they said that the mosquitoes gave minor versions of malaria that didn't make people sick, but gave them the antibodies. And the efficacy from those antibodies last a few months. So it's not like long-term vaccination by any means. So like every few months, I guess you'd have to be bit by one of these mosquitoes. Now, when asked, they said, we use mosquitoes like they're 1,000 small flying syringes. But when asked, well, why didn't you just use syringes, right? Like, why don't you just inject people, with their consent? I mean, obviously in this study, the people gave consent, but what are you going to do with this science, with this research is the big question. So you're going to release mosquitoes out into the wild that carry this mild form of malaria so that you can give people malaria and vaccinate them without their consent. Essentially, a government, I could imagine, would buy the batch of genetically modified mosquitoes and release it to its population, which then what happens to mosquitoes? They get inside of crates, they get shipped around the world, they go with people places, they get transported. So now you're going to vaccinate the entire world without the world's consent by using this science. I mean, what is the purpose of this science if it's not for that? That's a really good question. And they said, well, the reason why we didn't use the syringes is because it just costs so much. They said that that researchers say genetically modified mosquitoes will not be used at large to vaccinate millions of people. They say, yeah, right. They say, Oh, really? They told us that we wouldn't have mandates with the vaccines either, and yet we did. They said the reason why mosquitoes were used instead of syringes was to save cost. It's cheaper. So just use these genetically modified mosquito. Bull. If anybody's going to call bull on this, it's you and me, right? Because this is bull. They intend to use this science for something. What is it for? That is a good question. Dr. Kirsten Light calls the research a total game changer. Excuse me. A mosquito in my throat. I'm being vaccinated. Help me. Dr. Kristen Light calls the research a total game changer. She led the phase 1 trials for Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine and was a co-investigator for Moderna and Novavax. So there you go. You've got COVID researchers saying, this is great. This is great. So be on the watch for, and look, I never liked mosquitoes anyway. So now I'm going to be looking at those little flying suckers like, what you got? Is this a mandated vaccine? Because that's exactly what that would be. So be on the lookout. They're hopefully not out in the wild yet, but how do they know? This is like the lab leak. Did they account for every single mosquito? Did any of them escape from the lab by chance? The mosquito leak theory. All right, guys, let's talk about Field of Greens. I absolutely love this stuff. It is a fine powder made from dehydrated whole fruit.
All right, y'all. So y'all hear what she said, right? Y'all hear what she just said about the mosquitoes, and I agree with everything she just said. They are playing with this stuff, and it's not a joke. And we, the people, have got to stop this mess because they're releasing this stuff on us. And like she said, what was the purpose of it? Like, why would you use mosquitoes in the first place unless you wouldn't plan on using them in the first place? And you think they're just gonna use this thing on try to so-called stopping malaria? Now, these are the same people that's talking about depopulation. So I don't think they want the population to increase. I think they want it to decrease. And I don't trust the people that always talk about they doing stuff for good. Because it seems like they always do it for bad, don't they? It don't never work out that way. So, I mean, of course, nobody's going to come out directly and tell you, yeah, we're going to weaponize mosquitoes to kill millions of people. They're not going to say it direct because then it'll be in an uproar. Instead, what you would say is, we're going to go out and use these things to stop diseases from coming place. Yeah, we're gonna create mosquitoes so that we're gonna send them out there. So if they mate with these mosquitoes, it'll make them non-violent. Then make them so that they won't suck blood, or to make them so that they want that the species will die off, or some kind of stuff like that. That's what they will say. But I can guarantee you, even after releasing all those mosquitoes, I can guarantee you that people in Florida, Texas, and all these other places are still being bit by mosquitoes, even after they so-called released all these mosquitoes that they supposed to released and supposed to had helped the people. Well, I can guarantee you people are still being bit by mosquitoes. Just like when they sprayed in my area for mosquitoes. I remember the year they sprayed, and it's like there was more mosquitoes that we had more mosquitoes then than ever. And those mosquitoes were biting like crazy. And I'm like, well, what's the point of them spraying? So that's why I said in the beginning of this video, what is in the spray? Are they spraying mosquitoes or are they spraying us? Telling you they're spraying mosquitoes. And what's in the spray? So you have to question everything today because a lot of stuff just don't make sense. All right, so I got a couple of clips from the movie They Live, 1988, John Carpenter's They Live. And like I said, is the planet being changed over to something else? And is the powers that be, and that's what I truly believe, that they're working with something else. Your cell phones, your technology that you use every day, you don't even question where it came from or really how it works. You really think Apple and some of these other companies making all this stuff. But there's, for instance, you dial a number in your phone, right? And it calls that, it goes through the world and it'll travel across these towers and these signals and frequencies in the atmosphere, and it rings that certain number. Out of all the phones in the world, it'll ring that number, and you have a conversation between you and that person, right? Or you put a text in, you text a couple of words in, and you press the button, and it goes ding, and the next person got a text from you. The phone tracks everywhere you go, every word you say, and everything you do. And you can't live without the technology, and you never question how the technology works or where did it come from. And so this is the world we live in today. We just people are just mindlessly using stuff. And is it a reason why they call it the World Wide Web? You know, a spider makes the web. He sits on top of the web or in the middle of the web, and it got arms, and it is and he has control over the whole web. And anything that touches any part of the web, that spider, it triggers that spider, and it goes off and it kills. It traps its prey in the web. Are we being trapped in the web? Because now people can't live without being online or on their cell phones. You see them driving down the road and you look over, somebody's on their phone, right? They're not even paying attention to the road anymore. So now we got all this technology out here. We're not questioning where it actually came from, right? But let's see. So let's watch this little clip right here. And I truly believe that, this is my opinion, that they have always been working with these aliens, just like this shows in this movie right here.
I'm hearing some. Our projections show that by the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion.
Now notice, y'all, they used the year 2025. Did y'all pick that up? Is that a coincidence that this actually in real life, everybody's talking about 2025 will be the year? Now, and I can't even speak about what I'm talking about. I can't even say what I want to say on this YouTube channel. But for those who know what I'm talking about, 2025 is always, it seemed to be that year that even right now, everybody's talking about 2025 for certain events or by this date, certain things supposed to take place. And in this movie that was created in 1988, he just used the time frame 2025. See, a lot of us know they put messages in movies. So I hope y'all pick that up. 2025. Let's see what he says.
Of this power alliance, the gains have been substantial, both for ourselves and for you, the human power elite. You have given us entree to the resources we need in our ongoing quest for multidimensional expansion. And in return, the per capita income of each of you here tonight has grown, and this year alone, by an average 39%. And I've just received word that our forces have won a major victory. The underground terrorist network has been destroyed here on the West Coast. We are off crisis alert. The situation is normal again.
Works like one big airport. Boys, let me tell you, they got their act together. Believe you me. Evening, boys. Looking sharp. Wait till you see what I'm going to show you now. And here we got the brains, the whole operation. Faster signal goes out from here to the satellite. We pump it out all over the world. Pretty fancy, huh? Not too familiar with it myself. Well, boys, as far as we go. Multi-spectrum analysis. This will allow space sensors to penetrate natural barriers and camouflage.
Can you get us inside? Never seen the inside of a TV studio before. You look like the gentleman to ask.
Well, I guess it wouldn't be that much problem. You see them boys over there? Friends of mine. Hey, fellas, I got a couple of my buddies here. I thought I'd give them the grand tour. Think we can go inside?
Be serious. You have your authorization cards.
Right here.
Watch the door.
Soundproof. Where's that signal?
It's up on the roof, I think.
Polly works in there. If she made it, maybe we can find her. Then we can go to the roof and break that signal.
Wait, boys, wait. You're making a big mistake. You made the mistake. No, you got to listen to me. I thought you boys understood. It's business. That's all it is. You still don't get it, do you, boys? There ain't no countries anymore. No more good guys. They're running the whole show. They own everything, the whole goddamn planet. They can do whatever they want.
Did y'all hear what he just said? See, they put little nuggets in the bottom. There is no more countries anymore. They own the whole darn thing. They own all the countries around the world. They own it all. They own the whole show. Does that not look like what's going on today? You got an international space station, and yet they talk about China and America is going to war. Yet America got all these companies all over in China. And in the stock market, in the Wall Street, they getting all excited. They're hoping that China opens back up so the money can start flowing again. Does that sound like people? But then all of a sudden, I think they sell to the people like there's going to be a war with China. And they shelling that, but you got McDonald's, you got Elon Musk, Tesla's being sold, you got all kind of stuff. Like you got all kind of a lot of stuff that's over here that we use is made in China. And that's fact. And these corporations are going global worldwide. See, America got upset when a lot of we thought when U.S. companies went global and went all over the world and left places like Detroit in shambles. People lost their jobs and Americans were all upset, but they didn't understand this was a globalist thing. These companies were never about just being in America. Oh no, they want the world. So they're going global, and all the citizens of the world, they want to try to put you under one currency and say, what do you need currency for? To shop and where? Corporations, don't you? So what if the whole world is under this one corporation or this currency now that all the corporations set? And they set the rules and regulations for your life. And we all, the employees, are striving for your families to get a job to work for the corporations. In Iraq, after they blew it up and bombed it, what are they doing? They're setting up corporations, right? All around the world, this is going on. So who's running the corporations? I think he just told you. They're running the whole show. They're running the whole show, the whole kit and caboodle. They got it all. They running the whole show, the whole kit and caboodle. They got it all. They running the whole show, the whole kit and caboodle. They got it all. They running the whole show, the whole kit and caboodle. They got it all. They running the whole show, the whole kit and caboodle. They got it all. They running the whole show, the whole kit and caboodle. They got it all. They running the whole show, the whole kit and caboodle. They got it all. They running the whole show, the whole kit and caboodle. They got it all. They running the whole show, the whole kit and caboodle. They got it all. They running the whole show, the whole kit and caboodle. They got it all. They running the whole show, the whole kit and caboodle. They got it all. They running the whole show, the whole kit and caboodle. They got it all. They running the whole show, the whole kit and caboodle. They got it all. They running the whole show, the whole kit and caboodle. He said there are no more countries. They run it all.
For a change, and they're gonna let us have it good if we just help them. They're gonna leave us alone. Let us make some money. You can have a little taste of that good life too. Now I know you want it. Hell, everybody does.
Do it to your own kind.
What's the threat? We all sell out every day. Might as well be on the winning team. See you, boys.
All right. So y'all see that. And that's a little clip from They Live. I hope it came out so y'all could see where I'm getting at in this video. Because I don't think too much is coincidence anymore. Now you got them talking about UFOs in Congress, don't they? They finally starting to admit what everybody already knew the whole time. Millions of people around the world been seeing these things, UFOs, for years. And they've known it for years too. And then they send a little men in black around to your houses and try to, ask you questions. And then they come up and say, oh, no, you just saw a balloon or a shooting star. And people know exactly what they saw. And they know what people saw too. But they just didn't want it to get out. And so that's why a lot of people didn't speak on stuff when they seen it, because they didn't want to be laughed at. But truth is, these things have been seen by people all around the world, and the governments around the world already know they exist. They already know it exists. So watch this next clip. And this is from Congress. Check this out. Here's a hearing that happened a few days ago in Congress, and they talking about UFO whistleblower says U.S. recovered non-human biologics from the crash sites. All right, let's see what this guy says in this video. And she's going to ask him, have they had contact with aliens? And you're going to hear the guy say, no, he has no comment, or something to the effect that he has no comment on that. They already been working with these entities. And I'm going to tell you right now, this whole thing is a scam and a shamble. This is just done for the public's eyes. But they already know they've been working with these aliens for years. And the smart people are right here. We already know what's going on. So let's just listen to this little hearing right here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to our witnesses who are testifying today. I want to thank each of you for being here to discuss a topic of grave importance to our national security. Earlier this year, a Chinese spy balloon was shot down off the coast of my home state of South Carolina. Since the Roswell incident in 1947, many Americans have wondered about the dangers of unknown objects crisscrossing our skies. Whether these are UAPs or weather phenomena, advanced technology from American allied or enemy forces, or something more out of this world. So my first question, I have several questions, and if we could just be quick on these first two, I'm going to ask each of you the same question, and then I'll get to each of you individually. The first one, when you reported your experiences with a UAP, did any of you face any repercussions with your superiors, yes or no?
No. No. I've actually never seen anything personally, believe it or not. So.
All right. And then do you believe there's an active disinformation campaign within our government to deny existence of UAPs? Yes or no?
I don't have an answer to that. As previously stated publicly, yes.
I think previously with like Project Blue Book, yes, but currently I don't speak for the United States government.
Okay, thank you. I have a few questions for Mr. Graves. What percentage of UAP sightings in your belief go unreported by our pilots?
This is an approximation based off of my personal experience speaking with a number of pilots, but I would estimate we're somewhere near 5% reporting perhaps.
So like 95% basically don't report seeing UAPs.
That's just my personal estimate.
In the incident off Virginia Beach, do you believe the Navy took the danger to your aircraft seriously after it was reported?
Absolutely.
A few questions for Mr. Favor. As an expert naval aviator, have you ever seen an object that looked and moved like the Tic Tac UAP?
No.
Did the Tic Tac UAP move in such a way that defied the laws of physics?
The way we understand them, yes.
Many dismiss UAP reports as classified weapons testing by our own government, but in your experience as a pilot, does our government typically test advanced weapon systems right next to multi-million-dollar jets without informing our pilots?
No, we have test ranges for that.
It took over 15 years for your encounter with the Tic Tac to be declassified. Do you feel there was a good reason to prevent lawmakers from having access to this footage?
No, I just think it was ignored when it happened and it just sat somewhere in a file. Never got
Yeah, right.
recorded.
In a drawer. It happens a lot up here. Shocker. Mr. Gresh, a couple of questions for you too, sir, this morning. What percentage of UAPs do you feel are adequately investigated by the U.S. government of the 5% that are reported?
I can only speak for my personal leadership over at NGA. I tried to look at every report that came through that I could triage, so.
Do you believe that officials at the highest levels of our national security apparatus have unlawfully withheld information from Congress and subverted our oversight authority?
There are certain elected leaders that had more information that I'm not sure what they've shared with certain Gang of Eight members or et cetera, but certainly I would not be surprised.
Okay. You've stated that the government is in possession of potentially non-human spacecraft. Based on your experience and extensive conversations with experts, do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Now, you hear what he just said? Have they had contact? Of course they have. They've been in contact the whole time. That's why he didn't say no. And the public needs to be aware of this. And you can see it in his body actions. A lot of times, body language gives away the answer for real. In other words, that was a big yes. You can see it in his body language. So he may have said he can't give a contact, but he just asked if anybody who can recognize the body language, he just did. He just answered it for us. And that's why I said these people that are sitting up here that's doing this whole shenanigan show, they act like they don't know. The people that this question are acting like they don't know what's really going on, but they know what's going on too. In other words, just like we just watched in the They Live clips, and it's not just a movie, y'all. They've been working with the elite power structure for a very long time in the corporations for a very long time. So they know what's going on. It's just that it's not going to come out, and they're not going to tell it. So, like I said, I'm not the only YouTuber or person out here. I'm gonna call myself a freaking YouTuber. I'm not a YouTuber or whatever. I'm just somebody, a truth diviner, just telling the truth. Like a lot of other channels and a lot of people are just telling the truth all across this country and around the world. Right? And these people sit here as if we're stupid. And I don't know why they think that the people are just dumb, that we just don't understand what's going on. But anyway, I'm going to let this play out.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. If you believe we have...
You see that? She laughing. I don't know why they can't understand why this occurred, because she already know it occurred. She knows it too. But again, this is for the public. This whole interview, they filming it to show it to the people. Right? Because if they didn't want the people, the public, to know about it, this would all be behind closed doors and it'd be hush hush. But it's like a lot of times people think they're watching these reality shows on TV and they think this stuff is really a reality show. It's not a reality show. Why? Because the cameraman is right there in the room with them, filming them. And most people forget that. Oh, this is a reality show. This is real. No, it's not. It's still a show, right? It's a reality show. And these people that got a camera stuck in front of their faces, they know the camera's there. It's for your entertainment purposes.
Crashed craft stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Gotcha. Okay, so, and you may or may not be able to answer my last question, and maybe we get into a skiff at the next hearing that we have, but who in the government, either what agency, sub-agency, what contractors, who should be called into the next hearing about UAPs, either in a public setting or even in a private setting? And you probably can't name names, but what agencies or organizations, contractors, et cetera, do we need to call in to get these questions answered, whether it's about funding, what programs are happening, and what's out there?
I can give you a specific cooperative and hostile witness list of specific individuals that were in those.
And how soon can we get that list?
I'm happy to provide that to you after the hearing.
Super.
Anyway, so that's a little clip right there. Just to show y'all. So this stuff is not far-fetched, okay? It's not just conspiracy theory. Now they finally trying to allude to something because maybe something's happening. Then you got Trump with the Space Force mess, you know, they making the Space Force and all this other stuff that's really going on. Listen, y'all really think they sitting up in space trying to figure out how the gravitational force of plants growing in space and all that kind of laboratories doing this kind of stuff in space? They're spending billions and trillions of dollars to go up in space. Jeff Bezos is trying to do it, Virgin Galactic, and also Elon Musk is building rocket ships. You think they just going up there just to sit at the Earth and say, oh, wow, the Earth looks pretty from space? Come on, y'all. These people have been working with entities for a very long time. And it's not just, you know, this is not just, they're not just building this stuff to go to space, just to sit up in space to look at, you know, astronauts are not going up in space just to sit up there and ride around and float in space all the time, just to look back and then come back to Earth. So it's something more, way more to it than what's really going on. Right. The clip I got from the movie, from this movie called Curse of the Mayans. It's on YouTube, right? And I'm gonna play two little parts of the movie. I want y'all to hear what they say in the movie. Check this out. All right.
What are those things? What's going on?
They're Dolores. They're reptilian creatures. Legend says that they need human bodies and souls. And the host souls remain trapped in the Talog's body.
What? Is that a fucking car? Oh.
Okay. And now I want to put another part.
There's 5 times packets. If you have twice the strength, divide it. If you're outnumbered, be able to keep an open path to retreat.
What are you talking about?
The art of war, Sun Tzu.
I don't understand.
You realize it's only not fair for one of us to make it. I'll buy us some time.
I don't understand.
I'm gonna blow up the place.
No, we're going to share there, okay? All the way up to the cavern. I'm gonna get you out of here. I promise you don't have to do that.
You're not gonna get me out of here. This is our only chance.
No. It's my responsibility to get you out of the system safe, okay? Let me just get you out.
Your only responsibility is to make sure that those things don't reach the surface. I need you The world needs you. You're a strong woman, Daddy. And you're the only hope we have now. Now. Get out of here before it's too late. I will not let those things touch you, I promise. If for any reason they reach the surface, hunt them down. Kill them all. A bullet in the head will do. But be careful, because they will look just like us. You'll be able to recognize them from their snake eyes.
I wanted y'all to pick that up. So he said they were reptilian, and they said that they look like humans. They look just like us. Do not let them get to the surface. And you better tell, because they look just like us humans, except they have snake eyes. And just like you saw in They Live, they shot him in the head, right, in the movie. So, and y'all remember, like I said earlier, you remember the movie V that came out? They were reptilian, right? They had snake eyes. And when they peeled back their skin, ripped the skin off the face, they were reptilian underneath. So again, you got another movie. And there's a lot more movies showing the snake eyes, that they have snake eyes, like human with snake eyes. Is that true? Because I took some video myself off the TV from corporations, like the elites, they run the corporations, and their eyes were snake eyes. And I didn't doctor them, I didn't do anything. So again, is our corporations, is our governments actually being run by these aliens? And are they changing the planet to fit them? And are they saying there's too many people on the planet? I'm throwing these questions out there. And only y'all can answer them. Why would you block the sun? Why are you saying there's too much carbon in the atmosphere? Climate change. Why are you genetically modifying the foods? Why are you poisoning the water? Why is everything being destroyed? Why are you trying to feed this lab-grown meat? Why are you genetically modifying, insects and animals and everything else? Cloning people. If y'all go get a chance, go check out They Cloned Tyrone on Netflix. Y'all watch that movie. It's got a lot of information in that movie to those who are wise. Don't watch it for just entertainment. Watch the movie. They Cloned Tyrone on Netflix. Check that out as well. So what y'all saying now?
She is not a
Is
human.
recordings that I took off my TV myself.
There she is.
I watch CNBC every day, or just about Monday through Friday. Look at her eyes. Is she human? Who has snake eyes? They're human with snake eyes.
Oh my
And
goodness.
that's exactly what I'm looking at right now.
We are
And I
being
took
run
this
by
off my own
aliens for
TV.
real, y'all.
You see the lines in here? That's my TV screen. Now I hope this is coming out. But look at this.
What do we do? You can't even tell people because people are so stupid.
Look at her eyes.
They want when you try to tell them this stuff, they don't they don't even believe you.
So are these movies letting us know something more that's real? Like I said, this is my recording off my own TV set. And I got a few more to show you.
This is like They Live, Trevina. We're literally watching
And just in
stuff like
case for
this.
y'all to see that I did this myself, cut the volume on. You can hear me talking now in the video and hear her talking.
See, you see, he has round eyebrows, but look at this chick. What the heck is this thing?
See, it's me talking.
What the heck is this thing? And again, we're watching Wall Street. See that? Early in the morning. And again, we're watching Wall Street. And no matter what I do, see that? I'm telling you, we're being run by aliens. Early in the morning. And no matter what I do, I'm telling you, we're being run by aliens.
All right.
Look at this, y'all. Close up.
So y'all can check out this footage. And they're going back and forth on the TV. So that's why it's moving around.
Close up on
Because
the
they keep
slits.
switching her off on another, on another set. See, they show the blue, and then they go back to showing her again. But I'm just trying to give y'all.
And they always change it. They don't never have
I'm
her
just
on
showing her
one
eyes.
spot too long.
These are snake eyes. Look at that. That's trying to get a close up on it. Now look at she had to turn around. Then all of a sudden it went back to the slit.
Oh, look at it turned to a round
Did y'all
dot.
see that?
Oh, I hope I caught that.
And that's what their eyes do.
It went to a round dot.
So that's one person, right? Slide the page over. This is the CEO of Hasbro. Look at his eyes. I hope y'all can, I hope it's coming out. But look at his eyes.
What's going on with his eyes, y'all? This is another CEO of Hasbro. Look at his eyes. Why is it doing? This is we are being run by aliens.
See? So that's that took that recording. Look at his eyes. That's not me playing tricks with the camera. I'm just showing his eyes because I saw it. And these are on different days that I took these photos. See, I'm on Wall Street, right? That's what I'm showing you. I'm on Wall Street. There's Hasbro. There's the CEO. Look at his eyes. And you see they keep switching the screens. Now that's Becky. Her eyes were normal. Now look at his eyes. What the heck is his eyes doing? It looks better on my phone, but y'all get to see. His eyes are changing. So all I did was just turn down the volume. So I asked if I turn the volume up.
And all these diseases and everything we going through because they are working just like they live. They working with aliens. They already knew they existed.
See,
and they're hybrids. And people laugh at this off and think it's a joke. Y'all won't believe it. But look at.
And I'm gonna say something. I took these videos before that movie I just saw, The Curse of the Mayans. I never even saw that movie until maybe a couple of weeks ago. I took these photos on different days, probably early in the year. I forgot to ask the date I took these actually whatever they had these earnings back. That's when I took these photos. See, that's guys, he's regular. His eyes not doing that. But the CEO of Hasbro, his eyes is like all over the place. And it's got the little slits and everything in it, just like a little snake eyes. They keep changing it off his face, but I'm trying to focus on his eyes. And there you have it. That's him. Let's move on to the next person. This person right here is Chipotle CEO. Look at his eye.
This is Chipotle CEO.
You going to the slick?
Tell me he's not a hybrid.
That was his eyes. And that's John Ford. His eyes normal. His eyes not going into the slit. It stayed round. Okay, that's that. I'm gonna get the commercial. And then I don't know, I forgot who this person was.
Look at this. Tell me who else does that?
I wish I could see my phone. But this kind of blew up too big.
That's what's running these corporations. Look at that eye. Look how it changed that slit. Straight up and down. See, now it's round, then it goes out. See, it goes in and out of the slit.
Yeah, I see
it
that.
It rounds out, then it goes into that slit.
There's more footage of the same eye. Look at him. Look at that. Whose eyes do move like that? Look at that. These are real photos that I took off my TV myself. And I've seen so many different ones now. It's ridiculous. See that her eyes are normal. She's normal. And she be more like the elite that's working with the
Look at this guy. Tell me he's not
the
a
aliens.
so they working with the reptilians. Look at this. Look at his eye. Did y'all see that?
I hope this is
It's
coming
real.
out. And that's just a few, y'all. So anyway, this is the Truth Seeker Network. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch y'all on the next one.